Talk a little bit about the impact of Randy Goodrum on you.
Oh yeah. Randy's one of the guys I met in that year off, and I didn't realize. I mean, I knew was a hit songwriter, but I had no earthly idea how much. I mean, at one point I think it was in 1979. I think he had five. He had written five of the top 10 pop hits in the country. You know, um, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean yeah, I mean, and he wrote ASCAP's first $1 million copyright, which was "You Needed Me" for Anne Murray.
Hmm.
That was to this day is like, my God, it's sung at every wedding on the
Just a
planet.
great song. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was a great. He wrote, "Somebody's gonna give you a lesson in leaving, somebody's gonna give you back what you've been given, and I hope that I'm around." I mean, just hit after hit. So he hears me. I was a camp counselor, and I was his daughter's camp counselor
Hmm.
at the end of the summer when I'm leaving to go back to college. I'm sick of waiting tables. This buddy of mine said, "Hey man, I got this really cool job, as a camp counselor. You want to come be a camp counselor for the summer? It's a lot more, pays probably the same, but it's a lot more fun than, slinging hash." And I said, "Yeah, I'm in. Let's do it." And so I was one of his daughter's camp counselors, and the church that was one of the sponsors of the camp said, "Hey, will you send Radney, the guitar guy, sing around the campfire guy? Will you send him to church so we can like try to promote a thing and let it, so I clean up and drive back into Nashville from the camp, and and I get up and I play a song in church, and this guy comes up to me and goes, "Hey man, you're really good. Is your name is I got it right, Radney?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, I think you're my daughter's camp counselor." And I was like, "Oh yeah, she was at some week, a couple weeks ago." And so he said, "I hear you write songs." I said, "Yeah, I do." He said, "Well, when you get, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, going back to school." He said, "Well, before you go back to school, come play me some songs." And
Wow.
I did. And he said, "Tell you what." He said, "You got your girlfriend's at Vanderbilt, right?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "So, you're up the road. You're gonna come see your girlfriend on weekends, right?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, if you and your girlfriend will babysit for me and my wife, so we can go on a date or something, I'll cut acoustic demos of your songs for you, the ones that I think are good enough, and I'll help you figure out how to get them to a publisher, and you know,
Wow.
maybe this might work out for you." And that was some of the songs that got me into the office of Pat Higdon, who was the guy who wouldn't throw me out.
Wow.
And so I really owe, and I'll never forget, because at one point, I'm looking at all the gold and platinum, you know, records on the wall of his studio that's in his house, and and I just turned and I said, and he was spending way too much extra time on trying to help me get this, acoustic guitar and my voice thing cut and really good. And I said, "Randy, why are you doing this, man? I can look at your catalog and tell you don't really need babysitting money, man, to save babysitting money." You know what I'm saying? It's like he said, "You know what? I'm doing it because somebody did it for me."
Wow.
And he said, "You're going to be a star someday. I don't know what in what form or how, but let me tell you something. You've got whatever it is." And he said, "And nobody's going to do it for you. You're going to have to learn that you got to do it yourself." He said, "But when you get there, you need to remember this moment right now, and you need to give back, because that's what I'm doing now because somebody did it for me."
I love that,
And
man. That's why we do these
that's
shows,
the
these
greatest
stories.
advice. It's the greatest advice anyone's ever given, and I love, I love Randy to death. Yeah,
I love that, man. Yeah, that's why I love doing this show, man. The stories are just so paramount to people's existence and your evolution over time,
sure.
and who you became and who you are as a person and an artist.